Super Mario Odyssey is the latest installment in the 3D Mario series. The game has been critically acclaimed, and for good reason. It takes everything that worked from the previous games and expands on it. Players can still do Mario's iconic triple jump, and they can still dive from great heights. But now there's a whole lot more to do for players of all skill levels. Mario can jump, throw his hat, dive onto his hat, and that's just the basic stuff. You can also do whatever any of this is. Yup. But we're not here today to praise this modern classic. No, today we're here to see if we can use my limited game dev skills to recreate Super Mario Odyssey in Unity. And... Yep. So the first step to recreating any Mario game would be to make the Italian plumber himself. Originally, I was going to look for a 3D model of Mario online, but I couldn't figure out how to get the animations imported, so I gave up and decided to create it myself. Now I want to warn you, what you are about to see is something that no game developer does. This is not how the 3D modeling process works, but this is how I'm going to do it for the sake of this video. If you are looking to learn game development, don't do this. Learn how to use something like Blender and learn to actually create 3D models. As long as you understand that, then everything is fine. Anyways, for the past year, I have been working on a 3D platformer of my own called Multi-Platformer, which I talked about in my previous video. Because of that, I already have a character that is fully animated and it can move around. What I'm going to do is layer some basic Unity blocks on top of my character to create my Mario 3D model, which is how I got to this.
No, 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 no.
The only problem is that Mario has a very different moveset compared to my character, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time coding trying to replicate all of the moves. And I'm sure this will be fine and that I won't run into any problems whatsoever. Yeah, no problems at all. And so here we are with the completed moveset. We can do Mario's iconic triple jump and then dive. We can throw Cappy and bounce off of him. We can ground pound and jump. We can roll. We can wall jump. We can do it all. Except capture anything. Yeah, I didn't make Cappy be able to capture anything. But honestly, it doesn't matter. It's so much more fun doing this.
Going into the first room here, you can see the frogs on the right. They are the first intended captures of the game, the tutorial, and well, obviously I'm able to skip that, as you can see there.
Than it is to do this. With the movement now complete, the next thing to do is recreate one of the kingdoms. I decided to do Cap Kingdom because it's the first kingdom you visit in the game. And there's a lot to do here, so I'm just going to speed this up.
3 weeks later.
Hey, so it's been a few weeks since I started working on this. I realized that I really don't like making levels. Level design is probably the worst part about making games in my opinion. I could only work on this for a little bit each day because it just tired me out so much. The worst part was these stupid railings. I was placing these one by one around the entire level and it took so many hours. If someone has a better way of doing this, please let me know. Anyways, after finishing the outside part of the kingdom, I moved on to doing the inside. But I'm not going to recreate every part of the kingdom though. I'm only going to do the part that you play in the beginning of the game. And now, after several weeks and dozens of hours, I finally finished modeling Cap Kingdom. Here's the finished product. I tried to recreate it as best as I could, and I think I did a pretty decent job. It doesn't look as polished as the actual game, but the overall layout is almost the same. But you guys probably want to see some gameplay by now, so here, let me walk you through the beginning of the game. Okay, so right away you'll notice that you spawn on top of the Odyssey, which isn't normally what happens, but you know, that's fine. Also, there aren't any sound effects in the game, and the music you're hearing is just edited in. And then you pass by these hills. For this I made a special effect using Unity's particle system.
Then we make some particles using Unity's particle system.
Actually, I didn't. I have no idea how this thing works. I just layered some effects that I bought on top of each other. Then after you cross the bridge, you get to the main area in Cap Kingdom. There's not a whole lot to do here other than look at some giant hats and some boxes. Down here I put the door to one of the sub-levels, but you can't actually go in it. After you climb up here, you notice that the bridge is out. Normally in the game you would throw Cappy at the lever, but the Cappy I created is very inconsistent. So I made it so that you can just walk over to it and touch it. And there's the bridge. At the end of the bridge I have these tiny yellow Goombas. They don't move and they can't hurt you, but you can stomp on them if you really want to. Walking in this door will bring you inside the tower. You can walk over here and collect these coins. Over here, we can see the frogs that I didn't actually make you be able to capture. They don't do anything like the Goombas, and they're kinda just there. With some precise jumps, you can climb on top of these walls and collect the rings at the top. You also need to make more precise jumps over here to be able to climb all the way up. At the top of this wall is some more Goombas, but I'm pretty much just gonna ignore them. Mario can't swim in this water, so we're gonna have to be able to climb up with some more precise jumps. And finally we come to the last few jumps that bring you to the end of the level. At the top you can see a couple of things, like the 2 hat candles and the treasure chest that would normally give you a life up heart, but we can just ignore that and go to the next section. Now that you're on top of the hat tower, you can get a pretty good view of the entire level from here. The only thing left to do now is get to the top and fight the first boss of the game, Topper. Boss fight is a little different, mine is only a little bit easier than the actual game, just wait, you'll see. And there he is. Yep. Once you step into the ring with him, the purple walls will pop up, trapping you inside with him. He isn't very threatening, because just like the Goombas and the frogs, he doesn't move. And once you jump on him, that's it, you beat the game. Now that's pretty much all I did in this remake. If you stuck around this far, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, let me know in the comments below what game you'd like to see me try and recreate next. Alright, see ya.